Okay, I think we are live now. I need to check the visual cue, but I think, yep. Hello. Okay, welcome again to another Fridays with the live stream. Cover solutions, live solutions. This is the place for you to give me your questions, as always, in the matter of music in general, bass, guitar, whatever you want, about music, mostly about the songs I've been playing this week, about songs that maybe will come, a lot of things. If you are accustomed to be here, um, for me it's the afternoon. I don't know what hour is for your country. You can let me know. But if you're new to this, this is a place for you to give me your questions, your feedback about anything you need to know. So a lot of people, and I'm going to start reading some things really soon. Hello to everyone. Hello George Q, Dodo SG, Sean Davis, Logan, and so on and so on. It's a little bit cold here in my country. What else I have to say? Okay. Usually, most frequently asked questions, I try to give them at the beginning so we can kind of like make it quicker for people asking questions. The bass, the name of the bass is a Washburn Taurus T24. I've been playing for about 6, maybe 7 years. I'm 25 years old and I'm not from America, I'm from Chile. I'm doing my best, as always, to speak as I play in English, and I think I'm getting a little bit better. You can let me know. But I think I can manage myself to be a little more clear, maybe a little less sloppy. But that's it about the stream. So the lefting part, the main part is made by you and your questions, and of course I really want to know if you can hear me well, if you can hear my voice and if you can hear the bass. Here's the bass. Whatever. So if you can hear it, great. We can start. Oh, and a new maybe little thing. I've noticed some countries have available the option of a super chat. And it's kind of like a nice choice for maybe not for this time, but for other times in which maybe I can't read actually all the questions you can give me. So yeah, I activated kind of like a different kind of super chat. You can go to the link in the description and you can make whatever donation you want for the option of a feature question in which I will be explaining myself, of course, for a longer time if you want to. Okay, that's it. So we can start. What is your favorite bass line? Says Nicolina Kale, maybe? I don't know. About favorites, it's always difficult for me to say. I don't know. I obviously have a lot of fun with things I played in the channel, and I tend to go for more I think bassists in general tend to go for more funky bass lines to name them as their favorites in one way or another, and that's because the use of the bass is quite present, you know. But I really like some bass lines that are just maybe rock bass lines, whatever bass lines. I don't know. I think the channel kind of like gives me the opportunity to play whatever songs, and that gives me a hard time to choose favorites. You know, I really appreciate a lot of lines, so it's really difficult for me to answer that. Um, what are your some of your favorite YouTubers? Okay, about music, I think I had a lot of inspirations on YouTube, and I follow all. I think every main, you know, main guy of the bass on YouTube. I remember a lot of covers that I watched from a guy named David Caraccio, I guess. I don't remember the name of the channel. Also, a guy named Marlow DK. I remember him as being kind of like someone I wanted to copy in a way. And of course, Scott from Scott Bass Lessons. Those are great bases you can follow if you want to get more into it, I guess. But there's a lot of people that are doing. I usually tend to go for the more educational things in general on YouTube. I try not to follow much of the the popular content in the ways of entertainment. But I also like a lot of gameplay stuff and whatever. I really like Oni. If you can follow Oni in whatever mainstream channel that he can have, you can go to him. I like a lot of YouTube channels. I think I watch really less TV and a lot of YouTube to entertain myself. Maybe a lot of background noise while I'm playing or doing whatever. But yeah. No, I actually Davey504. I know him, but I actually not subscribed to him. But it's not because I don't like it. It's just I don't know. It's not my thing. But I appreciate every kind of channel dedicated to music, of course. And yeah, we have a lot of regulars in the chat, and I like that. I know you guys, and I know you've been following on the streams, you know, on Twitch also. I like that. Okay, let's start with some questions. What is some advice you can give me on getting faster at playing fingerstyle and becoming quicker with moving from fret to fret? Okay, faster at playing fingerstyle and becoming quicker with moving from fret to fret. Okay, I think it's important to understand that warming up it's a really vital thing for your if you're starting to play and if you want to maintain some kind of fitness. So the usual warm up exercise I will give you is I think the root of it is just playing note for note with each finger in each fret and trying to have a good position while you're playing and playing really slow. I was watching some videos about how to practice, how to get really good practicing methods, and the most important thing is playing slow, because in that way you can understand all the processes you're giving to your brain while you're playing, and it's not a low amount of processes. So first of all, if you want to just play this warm-up exercise, I will play it first. Just an exercise in which I'm playing with each finger in each fret from 5th to 8th, descending and ascending from string to string. But it's really the real difference between playing that great or bad depends on your position, depends on your ability to play well with a good hand position and with good sound. You need to kind of like position is in service of the sound in a way. Whatever you do is in service of a good sounding bass line or whatever. So if you're playing it this way, maybe with your finger here and doing something like this, and you notice you're kind of like struggling with it, you need to stop and play it slower and try to, first of all, give your fingers a chance to relax. Try to use your thumb in the middle part of the bass and trying to keep your fingers in a fixed position and not lift them then anytime you're trying to play. Okay, it's not something like this, and this is, I think, the most usual error, and sometimes it's kind of like inevitable because you're so accustomed to it that it's difficult to get over it, and I struggled with it. I remember being maybe half of my years playing, trying to play some things that I couldn't because I was using bad hand position, trying to play like this. Of course you can do it, but after a while you will get a lot of stress on your hand. You need to be really precise with your movement. Each movement will give you kind of like will reduce your strength bar, if you your energy bar, if you can say it in a more gamey way, So you need to really have a economy in playing. That's a really important concept, economy. So you lift, and you when you watch good players, you don't really even notice when they are playing fast things, because all the movements are just made to execute. Okay, so if you want to go to the note, just lift a little bit and then press, and then again press, and each movement is really tiny. Okay, and you can go even faster with that. It's more difficult to do it in a more exaggerated way. Okay. Especially for your little finger right here, that will suffer a lot. So if you maintain this type of playing, it may get a hard time on you if you want to advance. Okay. Again, another question. I think I skipped too much questions. That's why I was telling you about the thing. Sorry if I skip your questions. En español también puedo contestar. ¿Por qué no? Siempre lo hago, ¿ok? Por ejemplo, Juan Carlos Ruiz, me sorprendió trabajando. Muy interesante tus consejos, gracias. Es como un 30% español, dicen por ahí. What country would you like to live? I like my country in a way. Okay, it's more or less a safe country, and it's not I wouldn't like really to live in a country that has all the war problems you can confront. I like a really safe space maybe for me to work. And the nice thing about this is I could be in Antarctica, and I could even maybe go with the videos. It doesn't really matter if I am in a place or another. Do you have any tips for beginners besides practicing? I just hear that too often. Okay, yeah. It's maybe a cheap argument, or maybe a cheap advice to just telling you, okay, practice, just practice. But it's not that actually. Not if you are in a room by yourself with a bass, you will learn how to play. You really need to see other players playing. That's really important. And to see yourself playing. Okay, and for that you really need to practice, but in consciousness. You really need to have a really conscious playing, and playing slow will give you that, and playing knowing what you're playing will give you the knowledge part of it. Okay, if you interiorize yourself in theory, you will have a more power over what you're playing. Okay, if I'm playing this, but I don't really know what that is. May give me a harder time if I know I'm playing a C major scale in this position, and I'm playing C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and that corresponds to a scale that I can use in that and another context by playing. That information that it's merely educational, merely just for your brain, will give you a lot of strength in the ways of practicing also. Okay, when you look at more the virtuoso players in whatever aspect, they are great not because they can play fast. And for example, if you notice, I don't know, whatever guitarist that is very famous, Steve Vai, whatever player, they are not famous and great because they play fast and great. It's because they know also what they are playing. Okay, they know their language and how to use it. So very important to educate and cultivate yourself also. It's not all about practicing. I really Oscan Ergun, I guess. I really love the style of Flea, and I started playing bass because of him, but I could have only gotten a P bass on my own. Can I make it at least close to a J bass? Okay, I have the I kind of like the opposite thing. This is a J style bass, and I usually have to play a lot of P bass or oriented lines, and in obviously it's not the same. I really I don't know that much, but probably most of the bassists will tell you it's really difficult to achieve a sound from one and another. You really need to have both of them, kind of like in an experienced manner. I usually, when I try to emulate a P bass, I use just this pickup and try to play it in this part. But it's not the same. Of course, it's not the same. Okay, so in a way, gear will limit you in sound. But in playing style, you can get much of a bassist. If you understand how a bassist plays something, it's more important than knowing what gear he's using. I guess I think that's my feeling about it. Okay, you can maybe try to learn a Jamerson line and not having a P bass with flat wounds and high action. I don't know, and you may kind of like sound like it. The sound is really in the fingers. It's not a fantasy argument that someone will tell because they think that they're great. Okay, really is in the fingers. Have you ever heard Thundercat? If you did, what do you think of him? I really like Thundercat. I think I listened to one or two albums, I guess. Maybe one single. I remember one video that was really great. It was kind of like a collab with Eric Andre. I really like that video. You can search it. It's called I don't remember. I don't remember, but maybe someone remembers. And it's a really great bass player, of course. En español, quizás por ahí, ¿qué técnica usas que te salga bien el tapping? Ok, he hablado un poco de tapping, pero tiene que ver principalmente con hacer una buena presión en general cuando vas a hacer tapping en sentido del hammer-on, ¿cierto? Pero creo que lo que más te va a dar el sustain y el sonido que necesitas es cuando aplicas el pull-off. O sea, cuando vas a sacar la nota y vas a ingresar otro sonido. Por ejemplo, hacer eso no es lo mismo que levantar solamente el dedo. Si levantas solo el dedo, vas a perder sonido, vas a empezar a bajar la intensidad. Lo mejor es tratar de tocar y al mismo tiempo mover un poco el dedo hacia el lado para mantener un poco más esa presencia de sonido, como si estuvieras tocando de nuevo. Pero quizás con una pregunta un poco más específica te puedo dar más detalles. In English, again, how often do you change your strings? I usually change them monthly. I'm trying to save the songs that I really need to use, in which I really need to use new strings for the sound. You know, when I had played maybe a Tool song, I usually played with fresh strings, so you get more of the sound of it. There's songs that definitely need fresh strings to sound great, to sound like they are. Some others maybe not that much, and you can always tweak the EQ maybe a little bit more or less to get more of a high end and kind of like lie to yourself and play like they are new. But the thing is with guitar, for example, you don't notice that much if the strings are new or not. But with bass, I think you really notice it a little bit more. But that's just my thought. I don't know. Another question. To rephrase, should my right thumb always be placed on the uppermost string or the middle block, or should it follow the other fingers? Okay, my right thumb always be placed on the uppermost string. Oh, okay, I understand that question. Okay, it's referring to what do you do with your right hand thumb when you're playing in this way? Maybe you're playing a scale or playing whatever. I will try to get this view for you, okay? So watch my thumb as I go to play whatever. I'm not placing this is more of a choice thing, but I'm not placing my thumb just in the upper part of the bass to play all the other strings. I'm not doing something like this. But I've seen some players play like this, but in some other way it's not good for you if you want to maybe play some fast passages, maybe, because you're kind of like stretching too much. I think this is the better way. If you're playing in this string, in the E string, I usually place my thumb, if I can, on the pickups. If I had to play in the middle, I kind of like just place it right here and play. If I go to the A string, I just place it in the E string and play, and then again with the same with the D string and G, and I go with it. I try to play, and if I have to change, I accompany myself with the thumb. I do that because I think I have more control of muting the sounds that I don't want in the strings, you know, the neighbor strings, and I do it because I don't want to strain myself that much also. Okay, I would recommend it to you, but I think it's more of an option thing. I don't know if I answered you correctly. You can let me know. I like it that if someone doesn't know the usual questions, you are actually answering them for me, and that way we can get on with it. I like it. Thanks for that. I haven't had the opportunity actually to hear new gorillas, but I want to. More, I don't know if I'm that excited, but I want to check out. What else? What pickups do you use? Just the main, the stock pickups that came with the bass. I think it's ABT, the name of them, but I want to maybe change them in a future. Can you talk about controlling note length and muting notes properly? Okay, that's interesting. Controlling note length and muting notes. Okay, let's go with controlling length. And I think it's kind of like the same, because you're kind of like using the same mechanisms to stop the sound of a note and to stop noises and muting notes. So probably if you have this example, it's a most common example. Maybe you're playing I don't know, a D right here, and you're playing the fifth and the octave in this type of manner, you know. I will assure you that some maybe beginner will have this sound while they're playing this. Maybe in the going up, it's not that bad. But when they go down, the notes begin to mix with each other, and if you don't want to get that sound, and you can't stop the strings, you really need to practice on controlling the length of the notes. So what I do in that case, for example, again, for not getting that sound and getting this sound, I'm mainly using my left hand for that, in a way that I'm just playing the note, then I lift a little bit of the finger that I just played to get to the other. And if you do it in a time that it's kind of like an accurate time, it won't sound like you're playing with a difference of in between them. You know, it should sound like a legato. When you say that, it's you tied the two notes. Okay, it's not staccato. That's it. It's staccato. You know, when you're playing the note, and then you give a lot of silence in between. And that's of course another type of playing, and if you want to play like that, it's okay. But if you want to play legato, that should be always kind of like your main goal. If you're playing, if you have nothing in the notation that tells you to play other way, you should play this way. And for that, you press to the other note, and at the same time you lift this finger a little bit, and that will save you this mistake. Okay, that's just one example of it, of controlling the note length. So when you're skipping strings, you will have that problem, especially when you're going up, as I said. And that's mainly controlling from your left hand, but also you have a lot of things to do. In this case, in the right hand, you, as I said, using your thumb will give you more control on muting notes. I don't know. I can just put my finger right here and controlling the note length just by playing and then resting my fingers again on the string. So I can make a staccato in this way, only with right hand, maybe only with left hand. But I usually go with both of them to get more control, even more control, okay? But there's a lot of more examples of it, and I won't get much into it because I have a lot of people right here saying things. I will remember you in case you want to. I'm not forcing you. I know I have the Patreon thing, and it just, if you want to, you can check the description, and I have a link for kind of like a donation type of thing in which you can enter a text, and it will appear on the screen, and I will know, and that is a future question for you, and I will give more attention to it. Okay. Probably a whole half an hour of it. I don't know. I think I'm going to extend this a little bit more. Okay, if my voice and my tiredness allows me to. Will you ever use a 6-string bass in your videos? If I had one, yes, of course. More global question. Why did you start playing bass in the first place? Why not another instrument? Okay, that's a story. That's kind of like a story to tell, because I just started playing guitar. I was maybe 12 years old, and I had a guitar that I didn't take care much of it. But then I had classes of guitar, kind of like in my adolescence time, in which you really want to play because there's usually some other motivations for a kid to start playing, maybe to be cool, maybe to get some girls or whatever, and that's not bad. Actually, it's not a bad thing, and you can polish that philosophy in the way of it. But usually some kid will tell you that, or maybe he won't. But yeah, I started playing guitar, then electric guitar. I had classes. I had 2 teachers, particular guitar classes. Then I moved to bass on college, mainly because of the band. The band, the other channel, the band channel I have, that you can check out in the main channel, and the related parts. For that project, I started playing bass, and I used actually a stolen bass that I had, and then I bought this one, and I just went on with it. I figured out the channel thing, and here we are. But I have a basis from guitar, of course, and I really like to play other instruments. As you can see, I'm trying my best to play other instruments and have all the spectrum of it. I actually have a keyboard now that I'm playing a lot. I like more to feel like a multi-instrumentalist. Okay, I like bass, of course. I think it's a great directing tool for a band. I feel more like a bassist and a director in a way when I'm playing bass. Because you have rhythm, you have a melody, you have harmony, I think you have everything you need to control maybe a band in a way, and I like that. What else? What about drums? Yeah, I also like drums a lot. I really like them. Unfortunately, I can't play that much because they are not here in my place. But I really like playing drums. It's really fun. I think it's the most entertaining for me. But there's a lot of difficulty when when you're trying to play great. Carlos Omar López dice: hola, por favor, algo para ecualizar. ¿A qué te refieres con algo para ecualizar? ¿Un consejo? ¿Una pregunta? Necesito más información, por favor. Can you talk about exercises for stronger right hand to play faster, like Orion, Metallica? Okay, stronger right hand. It's I think the most unfair thing for beginner players, because it's not a thing that you will get really soon. You really need to practice a lot. Again, sorry for saying that, but you do really need to practice a lot. But to center more of it, maybe giving good advices. As I said, having a great correct position will help you a lot, and saving a lot of your hand movement. It's not something like that. Of course, if you want to play maybe like Cliff, actually, and that's why he's so appreciated in a way. And there's a lot of stamina used when you play Cliff, actually, because it's not doing something like this, whatever. This is playing just with a middle strength, but if you notice, usually Cliff is playing something like this. Giving a lot of push to it, and maintaining yourself playing that way is not an easy deal for you. So first of all, try to play slow, but trying to keep this motion until you get tired, and then repeat again. I think the right hand practice is more like an exercise, more like a physical exercise for you. In the beginning, okay. Try to do maybe something like this. I don't know. Skipping strings. You can maybe do an A right here and playing in I don't know, in eighth notes, and doing something like this. And maybe you can skip a string. Whatever, you can do whatever on the left hand, but the thing is maintaining a motion of alternating your fingers and seeing and kind of like watching yourself playing and say, okay, now I'm getting tired, now I have to stop, and now I can get on again. And doing that will give you more and more strength. There's not much of an advice than just watching your position while you're doing that, and try not to strain yourself too much. Okay, I always say the Muse song Hysteria, it's great for that, because you have one string and you're playing something like this. You can maybe mutate that and just play in one string, and just create something while you're playing just this, okay? And that will give you a lot of accuracy also in your left hand. I think those exercises are great for you to understand your capacity. But it's really easy to play a lot of right hand things when you're playing it slowly and with really low strength when you're doing it something like that, okay? So you can practice maintaining a good dynamic and maintaining maybe a good forte, you know, playing strong and maintaining that strength the most you can, okay? I can actually do that exercise, and you will notice when I'm struggling myself to it, okay? Let's do something until I get tired, okay? I will play this. Now I'm getting a little bit tired, okay? You notice I'm kind of like applying less strength to it. And then I stop, okay? I don't want to get tendinitis and I don't want to kind of like be not patient. I really need to be patient, and I will build up my strength, okay? Whatever. What else? Let me check some other questions, okay? In the meantime, I will remind you some things about places you may want to go. You may go to Twitch if you want to. You can follow me there. I actually do a lot of streams transcribing. Someone else, I think someone said that I'm working on a song by Stone Temple Pilots, and I'm actually doing that. I have it ready to upload next week, so you can kind of like know all those processes in the meantime if you follow the Twitch streams. Okay, other questions. Matías Pincheira, te saludo, no te doy ningún consejo. I need tips on playing with the ring finger. Which hand? I don't know which hand. Will you be posting more tabs? Yes. I think for a while I've been trying to make about 2 songs a week. If you notice, usually I can get to that line because I work every day, because this is kind of like my main thing. But in some cases I can't, so sorry for that. It's difficult for me to maintain kind of like a schedule for videos, because some video may take more time, some may not. It's not like I'm doing gameplays, you know. It's not like I'm just sitting and doing something. There's a lot of work behind it, and that's the thing that takes more time. Transcribing takes a lot of time, and playing, it's not that much time actually. Question: Has this been streaming for like nearly an hour now? I really don't know. I think we started about maybe 45 minutes. Do you ever use a 5-string? No, I never used one. is there any real reason to use one? Of course, it really depends on the context and the music you want to play. Okay, if you want to play some heavy things, you may need a 5 string, and if you actually want to play some maybe not only heavy things, there's a lot of other music that you also uses 5 string, or maybe high low register basses. I think some gospel songs has a lot of bass, low bass in them. Different things. It's not exclusive for it. But I think I would still prefer to play a 4 string. I like limitations in an instrument. I like that. But it always depends on the context, of course. Alexander says, appreciate all the effort. Thanks to you. Thanks. How to slap? Okay. I usually do a kind of like a 1 minute thing, because that's the usual question that everyone wants to know. So really quick. With this part of your thumb, okay, the most prominent part of the thumb will go directly to play in this part of the end of the fretboard, and you will use your wrist to play the slapping motion. Okay, it's only your wrist and trying to get this sound. Then you can distribute this sound along all the other strings. And that will get you some time, okay? Because it's difficult to do that. And for popping, you press, you lift the string from behind with your finger, and when you're up with the flick of the wrist again, you will get the sound while you let go of the string. Okay, so you can do something like this here on the fifth fret, A string, A note, A, and the octave. Okay, it's 5th and 7th, and you apply both of them. That's a really fast explanation for it, but it's just using a lot of your wrist and trying to maintain this position right here. But there's much other things that you need to apply, especially to muting unwanted noises that you will get if you play more roughly, like with slapping. But that's it in a nutshell. Other questions. Will you do more lesson videos like the ones that are already in your channel? Yeah, I know that ones. I think I don't really think those were most useful for some people, because some people can't. I like to do more exercises, maybe more kind of like a lick that you can learn, and maybe upload that things. But I kind of like switch that thing for this, more a thing more of presence, in which you can ask me things live. and I don't mind repeating myself. You know, I take this like a class for all of you. So in most cases, a teacher will have to actually repeat himself, and that's great for me to also understand how to teach well. So I like that this dynamic a little bit better. Um, Alguien pregunta, la canción de Aerial, supongo que se refiere, de System of a Down, ¿es fácil para empezar? Relativamente sí, pero hay más fáciles para empezar de todas maneras. Pero es una canción, una buena meta para tener presente. Buena para empezar. Cuidado con la afinación, sí. Hay que afinar para abajo. Entonces cuidado con eso. What else? Are you a big Metallica fan? I'm not that of a big fan of anything. And I think that will be most of my answers when someone asks me about favorites or fandom. I don't really like fandom. Okay, I like to appreciate music. I appreciate a lot of Metallica's work, but I'm not a fan of anything. What would be the best practice for getting better at general playing and better music theory understanding? Okay, I think that's really difficult to say. There's not a one thing. There's not the best thing for you. Sometimes you will have to choose. But I really think we live in times that in which you have inexcusable amount of information that you can achieve and you can get just by looking something up. Okay, and some people really don't like to use internet well, you know, and if you use internet well, you can get a lot of things, a lot of methods, a lot of books, and a lot of videos like the ones I do that may help you. But about theory, maybe some things you will actually understand if you are subscribed to other channels right here on YouTube. So I encourage you to, if you are the subscription a subscription person, you know, you watch a lot of YouTube videos, try to change your subscription feed and subscribe to more things that will kind of like push you to learn more. Okay, even if it's not music, but it will get you somewhere. Getting that maybe one video a day about learning something, maybe less about other things, and it's kind of like TV, okay, in these times, and I think it will help a lot to surround yourself with a kind of like a stimuli for you to understand things. ¿Soy el único español aquí? No lo creo, no lo creo. Okay, yeah. The thing that I just said, I think it's really important. There's no excuses for you now to not understand and understand anything. You can understand things. You kind of like just need the effort, and that's the difficult part, because most people and most systems will not encourage you to do things for yourself, and I think that's really bad. That's not great. You should defeat that. Okay, here's a great one. I think. How about exercises for distinguishing intervals? I think that's intervals are a really important thing if you want to understand more of transcription and how to play, how to compose, how to everything. It's kind of like the basis for most things. But I use a lot of interval knowledge when I'm transcribing and when I have to play by ear. I use them a lot. So intervals, if you don't know, it's just the distance between notes. That's everything. Okay, there's a lot of distances between notes, of course, and you usually distinguish the ones that are from the unison from the octave. Okay, so if you're playing a C, you're playing you should need to know all the intervals from the unison to the octave. Okay, so you have a unison, a minor second. It's just a difference of one fret. You have a minor, a major second, and then you have a minor third, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, minor and major sixth, minor and major seventh, and then the octave or eighth. I don't know, but those are the main intervals. Of course, you can enlarge them, but they will repeat themselves in a way. So there's a lot of kind of like tricks or maybe tips to learn how to identify an interval. An example of it, it's maybe the major second from C to D. Just an example. In a bass, is composed by just a distance of two frets, and it's actually composed of two semitones, a difference of two semitones. So I usually, when I confront myself to an interval of a major second, and I want to understand it better, I think of a happy birthday. Sometimes actually I think of a, because that first interval is a major second. That kind of like a memory tip will actually get you to understand it better if you're not a perfect pitch person, of course, and if you have some troubles with it. But after a while, you will not kind of like think all the time about happy birthday. You will usually just understand that what you're playing is a major second, just for the sound. But there's a lot of good memory tips that you can get from any type of interval, and you can actually search for them. But I can tell you the ones I usually use. I think for the minor second is just knowing it, just knowing the interval, because it's the minimal distance, so you can sing it, and you will get more of it. I just tell you the one about the major second. For minor third, I usually think of a that song, or maybe for this. For a major third. For a fourth, I kind of like don't think about anything. It's just the resolution of a typical cadence. Dun, dun, dun. Maybe for the fifth, you can think about Star Wars actually. Yeah. For that interval actually, and that and so on, and you can search about that. But I think that was really helpful in the first time. Then you don't think about it that much. Okay. Other questions? I'm searching for other questions. Do you ever crave for another bass, or the Washburn just does it for you? Until now, I think I've been upgrading everything around the bass, and that kind of like gives me more love for this instrument in particular, because maybe if you play this same bass but with crappy headphones and with not a really good audio interface, without good cables, even so, it will sound different. And so most people will tell you that upgrading your gear will give you even more of the real sound of the instrument you have, and that is true in some way. So until now, I really like the possibilities of this instrument. But of course, I would really change it if I could. But it's not my first priority actually. I really need to upgrade other things that you can't see, but will give better sound to it. I think that's it for the question. What is the answer to life, the universe, and everything? I don't know. Probably bass. Bass is the answer to everything. But seriously, I think love is the answer, and it's not a a hippie thing to say. Love is really the answer, and you should love a lot. In a philosophical explanation, in a scientific philosophical ideology, love should be the the reason to everything. And you can search about it. Core Solutions, did you learn how to play Roundabout just for the meme? No, I actually played it because a lot of people wanted me to play it, and I think the timing went well, because just the memes about that were going, just really fresh memes about the thing, and I just kind of like took advantage of that, and I remember uploading the other things at the same time, the Smash Mouth video and the other one. But I usually don't do things just for the meme. I don't like that much doing that. I do it. I think for this channel is most for you to learn things. But if you need to learn the song of a meme to understand things, that's not bad. Okay, you can always learn something out of anything, even if it is trendy, and if it is pop. and whatever, it's an opportunity for you to understand new things. Okay, what is the toughest song you ever transcribed? Probably some song that I just give out on it. There's some songs that usually have the bass so buried deep in the mix, and you can't find good live videos. You can't find anything that can help you, and you end up kind of like creating a line, just knowing the harmony of it, but you don't really have the original thing. I remember one or two songs that I just have to create something because you can't hear the bass, and I really don't like songs that are mixed in that way. You should always at least identify the instrument, even if it's not that present or needed, but it should be there for a reason. What else? ¿Qué bajo me recomiendas, Fender o Ibanez? Obviamente Fender tiene una trayectoria que es desde los inicios del bajo. O sea, el primer bajo eléctrico fue Fender. Por tanto, hay una background de trayectoria que es importantísimo. Pero ahora si estás empezando, puede que Ibanez sea una buena opción incluso, ¿ya? Depende mucho de ti. Creo que prueba los dos y ten tú la respuesta de eso. Creo que en cuanto a equipo, nadie te puede decir la respuesta oficial de nada. Eso ya sería caer en elitismo, creo yo. Nadie te puede decir este bajo es mejor. Quizás te puede dar una que otra opinión al respecto, pero finalmente el sonido lo vas a apreciar tú. Y el sonido ya es bastante subjetivo, así que no hay mucho que hacer. Emma Muse, si el amor es la respuesta a todo, ¿por qué no me amas? Yo te amo. No sé quién eres, pero yo te amo. No, en verdad no sé si te amo. I just sound more fuller and the drop is way better. It just sounds more fuller. I don't know what you're talking about. Probably some inside thing. How to play a slap triplet. Okay, there's a lot of ways of doing that actually. But you can play. I think the most used should be slapping, popping with the index, and then repeating the pop with the middle finger. So you have this. So if this is the feel to but if you want to go up in time, in tempo, it will be a little more difficult. I usually have to remember if I was talking in Spanish or English. I don't know why. Okay, this is for English. Yeah, in you really need to practice if you want to go up in a speed. But I recommend you to practice it with ghost notes only. And getting accustomed to it. There's other method that it will serve. You can actually do it in this way with a slap, then the thumb up, and then finally popping. And there's a lot of ways you actually can do it this way, with a slap, a left hand slap, and then another slap. Of course, that's more for a ghost note. Another question maybe, or I should be going? You can let me know, okay? It just depends on you. So the thing about next week, I have a song from a video game actually that I have to upload. I have the thing from STP that I have to upload also, and I have to work on really a lot of things, and I'm trying not to stress myself that much because there's a lot of things I have to do. So other question I have en español. ¿Has probado las cuerdas planas o semiplanas en vez de las normales? En realidad no sé cómo se llaman. Generalmente se denominan, estas las que tengo se denominan round wound, pero no recuerdo el nombre en español. O flat wound, que claro, es como planas. Pero diferencias hay muchas y no he tenido la oportunidad realmente de probar otras. Pero entiendo el concepto de las diferencias que hay entre ellas. What else? What would be a good place to start learning how to transcribe? I think you're the same person that told me about the interval thing, and I think that's the most important thing you can actually do for understanding transcription is learning a lot of theory, learning a lot of applying intervals to it. What else? You actually need really good equipment if you want to hear the bass. Actually, you really need a good studio headphones to really understand the role of a bass. And sometimes you can actually hear the bass in some other earphone or whatever other method of hearing, and then knowing a lot of your instrument, of course. But it's most of it is patience, I think. Really, a lot of patience. Someone asks, how long does it take to learn how to slap? And I can't tell you that. It depends only on you, okay? If you are practicing every day, maybe half an hour, you will get there. It's not that hard. It's not the high technique you can apply to bass, and sometimes beginners kind of like get madly in love with playing with slap, okay? But it's not the perfect way of playing for me. In a way, it's not if you're slapping, it doesn't mean that you're an advanced player actually, but you should learn to do it good, of course. ¿Conoces algún ejercicio para mejorar el ritmo? Ejercicio para mejorar el ritmo. En cuanto a correrse del tiempo, en cuanto como a no estar bien en tiempo, creo que lo más importante es practicar con metrónomo, de todas maneras. Mm, pero creo que puedes preguntarlo de otra manera más detallada y te puedo dar más respuestas. Em, there's a lot of memes going on right here. I know. Okay. Other questions, or should we close this for now? Alguien pregunta, tengo el mismo bajo, ¿le cambiaste los mic o no le hiciste ninguna modificación? No, ninguna modificación. Yo creo que todo el sonido bueno que puedes sacar de este bajo depende mucho, como decía, del equipo que está a tu alrededor, ¿ya? Lo estoy tirando por un cable hacia una caja directa que ayuda bastante a limpiar un poco el sonido porque balancea la señal. Esa señal balanceada la tiro hacia una interfaz que es una Scarlett Focusrite, que es una muy buena interfaz por el precio. Tiene unos preamplificadores que son de súper buena calidad. Y eso va directamente hacia el computador. Esto es lo que estás escuchando ahora, de hecho. Y también después de ese proceso generalmente ocupo amplitud para tener un poco más sonido de ampli en general, los sonidos de gabinete, que tiene bastantes opciones, y el amplitud con opción de amplificadores Ampeg suena muy muy bien, encuentro yo. Y después de eso ya estás súper en sonido digital, es lo que pienso. Creo que si buscara un sonido análogo para emular sería como lo mismo, tener un Ampeg y ver cómo suena ahí. Aaron acaba de reformular su pregunta. Cuando intento tocar algunas canciones muchas veces me pierdo y tardo mucho en volver a entrar en ritmo y quisiera saber si existe una forma de solucionarlo. Definitivamente lo que te dije, ya practicar con metrónomo, busca un metrónomo online o busca metrónomos digitales que se pueden comprar o incluso metrónomos de esos que son como un relojito y practicar alrededor de ese timing, que es un timing fijo, ¿ok? Por ejemplo, practicar lo mismo que estás tratando de practicar, pero con el metrónomo y teniendo atención en ello, ¿ya? Y si ves que aún te complica, trata de aislar esa línea de abajo o lo que quieras que tocar, y en vez de tocarla, percútela con las palmas o golpeando algo. Toma esa línea y percútela tú mientras vas tú haciendo eh, el tempo, ¿ya? Te vas a dar cuenta que haciendo eso, por ejemplo, si tienes una línea así, entonces tengo el tempo. Pam, 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 pam. Después lo puedo percutir. Pam, ta, ta, tan, ta, ta, tan, ta, ta, tan. Mientras voy haciendo yo también el tiempo, entonces puedo dividir. Pam, 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 pam. Después de eso ya nada te va a detener en cuanto a tener un buen timing, ¿ok? Y aprende a bailar, eso también te ayuda, definitivamente. Do you watch football? American? No. I watch some soccer, I guess, but I'm not that a great fan of it. But here in my country, soccer is the main sport. It's kind of like a way of life for some people. Okay? Alguien pregunta, ¿cuánto te costó tu bajo? Stan Pitt. Ahora mismo no recuerdo, pero fue algo así como 200.000 y algo pesos chilenos. Es barato dentro del costo de lo que te puede salir un bajo. ¿Qué género te gusta más tocar? Nos pusimos latinos. ¿Qué género? Trato de tocar de todo, en verdad. Creo que eso ya no lo voy a seguir respondiendo mucho en profundidad porque es difícil para mí decir, ok, esto es lo que realmente realmente quiero tocar. Okay, I think we're done for today. So maybe final questions so I can answer. It wasn't really a live in which I played that much. I miss playing. Preguntas, ¿cómo abordas la creación de una línea de bajo partiendo de lo que hace la guitarra en una banda? Entretenido, mira, por ejemplo, si una guitarra está, no sé, rasgueando un do mayor, siempre pongo el mismo ejemplo, la guitarra está haciendo esto. Después hace un sol. Después hace un fa. Después hace un la menor. Después hace un sol. Ese es el ciclo, por ejemplo. ¿Cómo puedes abordar una línea en base a eso? Primero, ten en cuenta no tanto lo que la guitarra está haciendo rítmicamente, sino más como lo que está haciendo la batería rítmicamente. Y toma la armonía de la guitarra, principalmente, ¿ok? Un do mayor, la nota que le da el nombre al acorde va a ser tu nota tónica, que es de la que principalmente cualquier bajista se va a agarrar, porque es la nota que el bajo debería dar peso para confirmar la armonía de. Entonces tengo... Ahí estoy solamente usando tónica y quizás quinta. Pero lo que en verdad te va a dar el plus de una buena línea es salirse de eso, ¿ok? Intentar usar todas las notas que componen ese acorde para crear una buena línea. Por ejemplo, la tónica que le da el nombre, pero también la tercera mayor que le da el nombre de mayor a un acorde. O sea, entender principalmente de con qué notas se compone cada acorde es importantísimo, ¿ya? Para tener ese conocimiento. Y después de eso, aplicar nomás, ¿ya? Creo que eso es lo más básico que te puedo decir. Hay mucho que hablar sobre ese tema. Ojalá me lo hubieras preguntado en un principio. What's the basic chord shapes for bass? Major, minor, etc. Okay, so chord shapes, it may there's a lot of variations of it. Of course, there's not a one thing. Okay, actually, a C major chord, you can go around it just by doing this. Just tonic, third, fifth, and the octave. But then you repeat here, and you can maybe use this pattern. really depends on whatever part of the bass you're in, or whatever sound you may get, but depends on that. Knowing where the notes of a chord are in on the entire fretboard should be your goal, and that's a goal that I'm not actually doing that great myself. I need to practice a lot of that. Okay, knowing every note that compounds a chord, but in each part of the fretboard. That will give you really knowledge of knowing, okay, I won't get lost in any part because I know how to go to that part. ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? Okay, I think we're done for today, really. So I'm going to say thanks again for being here. I want to ask people in general to kind of like give a lot of respect to this place for what it is. Okay. I know memes are great, and I know talking is great and whatever, and I like that interaction. But if you have really good questions, sometimes they get lost, and I don't like that. Okay, if you have the opportunity to have a great question and post it, and if you want to do the thing with the donations that it's in the description, I encourage you to do it. Okay, if you really want an answer, because there's some people that kind of like get sad if I don't answer, and it's not personal. Okay, it's just a thing that happens. But outside of that, you are you, and you can do whatever you want. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I know you probably the ones that are here will be the ones that I will remember more in case this will get a little bigger. I think according to subscriber count, this will get bigger, and that won't be that great for me to take care of all your questions. Okay, so let's hope everything goes well. And that's it. I will see you next week with some other videos, and next Friday with the same thing we did today. So if you have another question, you can save it for next time. And that's it. Okay. Goodbye everyone, and thanks for watching.